Hello class, it's such a delight that we can be here together. So we are going to learn about cross-cultural understanding in this lesson. So basically, cross-cultural understanding is a lesson that will study what will happen if some cultures meet another one. What will happen and the effect of that to the society itself. So before we go to the lesson, we are going to learn the rules of this class first. So I have made some class code of conduct that will ensure that this lesson will run smoothly. So here it is, the class code of conduct. So these are the important notices that you have to know. The first one, students who are found cheating during the test, either mid and final test, they will get E score in all the subjects they chose that semester. So be very careful because your action will determine your future. And then the second one, you have to attend at least 80% of the total meetings. So if the total meeting is 14 meetings, 80% of that will make 11 meetings. Otherwise, you cannot join the final test. And then the third one, all the scores are computerized. Thus, any complaint after the final test taken cannot change the result. So for example, we have made some mistakes in calculating the score in the midterm test or giving you a wrong score in the assignment. You can directly do the complaint before the final test. Okay. So next, the scoring system. So this is the rubric of scoring system that we have. The attendance and class participation will make 10% of the total score. The assignment 1, which is individual work, before the midterm test will make 10% of the total score, and the second assignment, which is group project, will make 10% of the total score. And for the midterm test itself, it will make up to 25% of the total score, and for the final test, 45% of the total score. So please remember that the final test will also decide how well you do in that semester. And our final test will be in project. So make sure that you do the project very carefully and hoping that you are going to get a good score for that final test so that your overall score will get good grade. And these are the course outline of this semester. The first one is syllabus orientation. So syllabus orientation is what we are doing right now. So here in the syllabus orientation, you are going to learn about what you are going to study in this semester. And you are going to make yourself familiar with the rules that we set. And then the second one is general description. In the general description, which we are going to study next week, we are going to learn the term that is used in the cross-cultural understanding. So there are some technical terms that we are going to use here. And then in the third meeting, there will be cross-cultural contact and the benefits. What will happen if one culture meet with another culture and make the contact? Are they benefiting one or it can benefit both sides? Or maybe it can cause something bad. So we are going to see that in the in the third meeting. Next, in the fourth meeting, we are going to study about cross-cultural conflict and adjustment. So is there any contact between one culture with another culture that makes a conflict? And how are we going to try to adjust the conflict? How are we going to solve the conflict if there are any? And then in the fifth meeting, there will be ethnocentric judgment, which is stereotypes. So what is stereotype? Or are we now doing the stereotype? Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, so we are going to learn that in the fifth meeting. And then in the sixth one, verbal and non-verbal communication. So there is communication that we do it verbally, but there is also communication that we do it non-verbally. What are the sample of those techniques and how is it done? We are going to learn that in the 6th meeting. And then the 7th meeting, concept of family, types and tradition. So we are going to learn how many types and tradition of the family in this world. Maybe not all of them, but just sample of them. And we are going to compare that to our family, to the concept of family in Indonesia or in Asia. Even in Asia itself, there's so many kind of concept of families. So you are going to learn that. And then in the 8th meeting, concept of religion across the cultures. So there are so many religions in this world. And we are going to learn that in this 8th meeting. And then in the 9th meeting, concept of education, values and expectation. So is it the same, the concept of education in East and in the West? We are going to learn that in the 9th meeting. What is expected for students in the East educational system and in the West educational system? Very interesting, right? So we move on to the 10th meeting, cross-cultural concept of friendship. So how do one culture see friendship and how the other culture see friendship? So it is very different, and in order to maintain a good communication, in order to maintain a good connection with other culture, we have to learn first what is friendship according to one culture and what is friendship according to another culture, in order to avoid the conflict within those contexts. And then in the 11th meeting, we are going to learn about concept of work, practices and attitudes. Do you see any difference in the practices and attitudes of work between the Eastern community and the Western community, the Northern and the Southern communities? So we are going to learn about that in the 11th meeting. And what caused that? What is behind those? So that's very interesting, but we are going to save the answer in the 11th meeting. And in the 12th meeting, there will be project of cross-cultural understanding. So these are your responsibilities. You have to submit all the assignments on time. This is, you're going to learn the deadline of each of the assignment in the LMS. So there will be a deadline within, if I give you assignment, after that it is going to show you the deadline of that assignment. So if you perhaps submit your assignment late, then it will decrease your score. I'm so sorry about that, but make sure that all of your assignment is submitted on time. And then the tolerance for late is maximum 15 minutes after the class started. Why is that so? So that you are not going to be left behind, because in some of the meeting I'm going to have a video conference with a foreigner here. So if you are late, you are going to miss a very nice opportunity to share your opinion with some foreigners. You're going to miss good opportunity to know about other cultures. And then the third one, you have to respect your lecturer and classmate, your online friends. Maybe if they ask questions, you don't laugh about it, and you give, if it is possible, you give a constructive critics, or maybe you can ask various questions. And then next, you have to wear polite clothes and shoes. Even though sometimes we are doing the intercom like this, if you are going to present yourself in front of me or your classmate, make sure that you wear polite clothes. And then please do not distract other students during the class. And maybe when we're doing the intercom, please make sure that the phone is in silent mode. And please be active and attentive during the lesson. So these are my responsibilities. Okay, so the point is I have to grade your assignment and test, because it will be very unfair if I ask you to submit your assignment and test but I don't grade yours. Okay, it will demotivate you. And then I have to answer your question regarding to the topics of the teaching, the topics of the lesson. So make sure that you ask some questions. I'm going to look forward for that. And then I also have to wear polite clothes and shoes if we are on video conference. And if you have any inquiries, please feel free to email me in novian@uib.ac.id. And this is the the project of our lesson, the course project, the synthesis of CCU. So you are going to work in a group of 3 or 2 people. You're going to try to assimilate yourself with any country that you choose. You are going to present the uniqueness of that culture, and then you're going to write a paper based on cross-cultural understanding elements that might happen in that country that you choose. Maybe what are the stereotypes of that country and whether it is right or not with the reality in that country. And then all the presentation or an activity will be recorded, and the result of that will be uploaded on the YouTube, and the analysis paper, which is typed in Microsoft Word, will be sent to my email at to novian@uib.ac.id. So that's all for the class code of conduct. After you make yourself familiar with that, now you can open the syllabus of this semester, and then there is also some handbook that I have attached there. Make yourself familiar with each of its content, and I'm going to see you again next meeting. Thank you very much and have a good day.